to 100 degrees. Bottom line, just a slow cool down anticipated the next few hours. All right, a few downpours still possible. Yeah, there could be a spotty shower even around the metro and points south, but the better chances will be north of the Ohio River the next few hours. Otherwise, it's just going to stay warm and sticky. A slow drop through those 80s. We're down to around 81 by 11 o'clock tonight. Jennifer, Eric, this heat, humidity, it's locked in place. If anything, guys, the rain chances are really going to start to go up, and just in time for the weekend.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
man, can't get a break.
I know, right?
A cooling kind of rain, or just going to make it even more steamy?
No, actually, later Saturday into Saturday night, it will be a cooling rain, but it
Good.
won't bring a bunch of cool air with it afterwards.
Yeah.
So this steam bath is going to continue. We'll break it down for you day by day on the 7-day next.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Okay.
The Justice Department finds Baltimore police routinely discriminates against African Americans.
Details from the sharply critical report are next on WLKY News.
Donald Trump's unscripted moments and Hillary Clinton's emails continue to plague the campaigns. I'm Craig Boswell at the White House. That's coming up.
You're watching WLKY News at 5.
As Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump sprint through battleground states in the race for the White House, reoccurring issues shadow the candidates.
Yeah, for Trump, it's those off-the-cuff remarks that leave voters wondering about his intent. And for Hillary, it's emails and her private server that are raising questions about her honesty.
And both issues are front and center again today. Craig Boswell has more from the White House.
Donald Trump stuck to his message while campaigning in Southern Virginia Wednesday.
If I get in, this is what it is, okay?
But it was an off-the-cuff remark Trump made Tuesday about Hillary Clinton that is dominating headlines.
If she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know.
Trump says he was rallying voters, not inciting violence.
We've got another unnecessary controversy on a day when Hillary Clinton should have multiple problems in the eyes of the American public.
That's a reference to multiple emails, roughly 300 pages of them newly released to a conservative watchdog group, some of them suggesting possible ties between the Clinton Foundation and the State Department. One email between a Clinton Foundation aide and Secretary Clinton's deputy chief of staff, Huma Abedin, appears to center on finding a job. Another exchange involves a billionaire donor and the U.S. ambassador to Lebanon. A Clinton spokesman denies any connection.
Nothing as nice.
Clinton is focusing on job creation in Des Moines, Iowa.
So in my first 100 days, we are going to do some big investments in infrastructure and clean energy technology and advanced manufacturing and small business.
The Clinton campaign has formed a new group of elite Republicans and independents who say they will work to elect her. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump campaign says the latest emails show more Clinton character flaws and that she views public office as a way to get rich.
Happening right now, a Cincinnati mother is charged with murder in the death of her daughter. 4-year-old Avery Hobbs was found unresponsive in the bathroom of her home nearly 2 weeks ago. Her mother, Brittany Roll Mays, was booked into custody this afternoon. In a 911 call, she said she put Avery in the tub to cool off after the little girl complained about being hot. A judge sentenced a serial killer known as the Grim Sleeper to death for 10 Los Angeles murders that spanned decades. The crimes took place police years to solve, and community members complained detectives didn't give the deaths enough attention because the victims were black and many were prostitutes who used crack cocaine. Nearly 300 more Delta Airlines flights were canceled again today, in addition to the 1,800 that were scrapped over the past couple of days. In the aftermath of a worldwide computer outage, hundreds of other flights were delayed today. Well, Delta said it was hoping to resume normal operation by this afternoon, Eric.
Some troubling findings tonight in a federal civil rights probe of the Baltimore Police Department. The Justice Department released a blistering report following a year-long investigation. Sally Kidd is in Washington with the details.
Eric, the Justice Department found systemic deficiencies in the Baltimore Police Department that allow discriminatory practices and fail to hold officers accountable. The Justice Department says Baltimore police have engaged in a pattern or practice of unconstitutional conduct. The report cites intentional discrimination against African Americans, including unconstitutional stops, searches, and arrests, and the use of excessive force.
Officers frequently resorted to physical force when a person did not immediately respond to verbal commands, even where the person was posing no imminent threat to the officer or others.
The investigation found officers disproportionately stop and search African Americans, make warrantless arrests without probable cause, and in some cases perform degrading strip searches in public without legal justification.
You look at this report, you feel it, and you know that, you know what, this is the lived reality for many people in the city of Baltimore, and enough is enough.
The police commissioner says citizens have a right to be outraged, and he's taking action.
We are going to do whatever it takes to have a police department that our citizens in Baltimore deserve.
He says 6 officers have been fired this year alone, and major reforms are already underway.
I'm committed to putting the resources on the table to get this done.
The mayor says the reforms include additional training and a new approach to accountability, and she says the department will outfit all officers with body cameras. In Washington, Sally Kidd, WLKY News.
And today's findings are separate from an ongoing federal investigation to the 2015 death of Freddie Gray, who died after being left unrestrained in a police transport van. 6 officers were charged in his death. 3 were acquitted. Another officer's trial ended in a mistrial, and the charges against the other 2 were dropped.
We're following late breaking news on I-71 tonight with an accident causing a major backup. Another live look for you from WLKY Chopper HD. New details from JCPS next on WLKY News. We want to update you now on late breaking news on I-71. We want to go right to WLKY Chopper HD pilot Chopper Bill. What can you tell us? What's new out there?
Yeah, well, we've got some good news to report. We don't know how good a news it is, but they've just now opened up the far left lane. You can see right there as traffic makes it by the RV that was involved in this accident. We're unsure whether they're just letting the residual traffic that was behind this by, or whether they're going to continue to let all the traffic that's all the way back onto the Watterson and 71. It was backed up all the way to Zorn Avenue when we took off from the station here a short time ago. So I can assure you for the next hour or so, or the rush hour commute, that 71 in this area is just going to continue to be backed up. But as I just said, the good news is, as you can see, traffic is getting by on the far left lane right now. Back to you.
And it's certainly going to help a lot of people that are in that area. Our particular concern, of course, at this point is still with the 400 JCPS students that are stuck in that as of right now. Just recapping information that has come directly to us from the school district. 400 students are on 19 buses that were stuck in that backup as a result of that wreck that Chopper Bill was telling us about. It is not comfortable out there, temperature-wise, so that was our concern. We know EMS teams, Jennifer, are there as well, helping to get students off of those buses and into more comfortable locations.
Hey, Chopper Bill, we know that JCPS is working with emergency officials to get the buses out of that traffic. Have you seen any of the buses that were able to move now that one of those lanes in the northbound opened?
Yeah, we just now, just a few moments ago, we saw 2 buses, Jefferson County Public School buses, make their way through. Now, right now, this is the overpass at Barber Lane for those folks familiar with this part of eastern Jefferson County. So this is Barber Lane at 71, and you can see we have 2 more buses that are caught in traffic here. And as we come around, you can see they brought in some buses on the southbound lanes of I-71, and our thinking was that they might try to transport these students from the buses that are caught in traffic and put them on these southbound buses, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen now that they've opened up the interstate and these the traffic is starting to make its way through. Now these buses we're showing you there at Barber Lane, they're going to be moving here momentarily as this backed up traffic makes its way by where the accident was. Back to you.
Bill, thank you again for that, the Eye in the Sky report there. It is going to be an ongoing situation, even with that one lane open. It is going to take a significant amount of time for that traffic to start moving and kind of relaxing there a bit. Chopper Bill estimating about at least an hour. Producer is in my ear telling me that the buses that are transporting the kids that were stuck in this are going to Ballard High School. So if you are a parent and you are concerned about your child, as we understand that you would be in this situation, your child is going to be taken to Ballard High School.
Yeah. And we just told folks about this new helpline that JCPS has, 313-HELP. This may be a good opportunity if you have any other questions about this situation to give JCPS a call. Again, 313-HELP. It's a new helpline, Eric, that the school district just opened for situations like this.
Yeah, and it's certainly a busy day, obviously the first day of school, and it is in the height of rush hour, and we know JCPS is one of the top 25 largest school districts in the country. Just to give you some more information on Ballard High School. If you're not familiar with it, the address is 6000 Brownsboro Road, the zip code 40222. Again, there were 19 buses that were stuck in this backup on Interstate 71, carrying about 400 students. JCPS has operated, has put plans into place very quickly to try to get those students off of those buses. In fact, I believe we may be seeing some now, or at least we see some people moving off of the street. But those students that were stuck in that backup are being transported to Ballard High School, 6000 Brownsboro Road, 40222. So parents, that is where you can pick up your child if you understand that they are in that backup.
Yeah, again, this is a live look from I-71 with WLKY Chopper HD. We've been mentioning, Eric, very hot out there right now. We want to get over to Jay and find out exactly how hot it is out there, Jay.
Yeah, Jennifer, Eric, we're talking about temperatures right now around 90 degrees out there, but the heat index is more like 95 to 100. On top of that, very little wind, so not a lot of opportunity to cool off. If you're stuck out there, it's just a nightmare on those roadways. We're looking for some cooling showers. There are a few off to the west and north of Louisville, but that's where the better chances will be for the next couple of hours. Bottom line, the rain chance this evening is pretty small. If you're not getting any rain right now, it's going to stay fairly small through the evening. You know what? That's actually kind of good news if you're heading to the Lou City soccer match at Slugger Field this evening. Kickoff is 7:30, 88 degrees at that time, slipping back into the low and middle 80s by the drive home. All right, additional rain chances are still heading in our direction. Matter of fact, they're really going up by the weekend. More on the 7-day coming up next.
Now, your WLKY weather with Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi.
Well, lots of steamy weather on this Wednesday afternoon, that's for sure. And a few lucky folks are actually getting some cooling downpours. Most of those have been off to the west and north of the metro region. And this live picture is from the Ali Center looking in that direction, west and northwest from Louisville. And you can see the thicker clouds growing vertically in the atmosphere and producing a couple of widely scattered showers and cooling storms. Let's look south, though, from the Bristol restaurant in Jeffersonville. Look at all the blue sky off on the southern horizon. Of course, the thunderstorm threat from Louisville and points south is a lot lower than what you have as you go off to the north. So the bottom line, if you're not getting rain right now and there's not a bunch of big dark clouds moving in your direction, it appears that the rain chance as we move into the next few hours is going to be pretty small. And the hot temperatures will resume. 92 and 76 the extremes on this Wednesday. Outside right now, we do have temperatures holding in the upper 80s and low 90s just about everywhere. 89 to 90 is the range. Humidity 54%. There's that dew point, 71, way high. Oppressive range, so the feel-like temperature is 96 right now, and a southwest breeze in here between 5 and 10 miles per hour. All right, radar scope, nothing showing up in and around the metro. We go a little farther north. The heavy downpour that was close to Henryville has pretty much fallen apart. Now we have a pretty strong storm located really in between Salem and Paoli, much of that in western Washington County, drifting off to the north. A couple of other downpours located in Jackson County in Indiana. South of the Ohio River, and we're searching for some rain, and there's just nothing out there right now. Blue skies, as we showed you on the tower cam shot, as we looked off to the south from the metro. So the bottom line, the rain chances look to be best west and north of Louisville the next few hours. Otherwise, everybody will go dry the deeper we get into the evening. Big picture showing a scattering of showers and storms again on this hot, humid afternoon. Most of those north of the metro region and southern portions of Indiana, as I mentioned, those will die out. Forecast clouds and radar showing that nicely. We move through the overnight. We're dry. It's still very warm and humid. By tomorrow morning on your Thursday, we're going to wake up to the low and middle 70s once again. In the city, we're expecting 78 degrees. That's what's going to greet you in the morning. On top of that, it's going to be humid, and that will translate to another hot one tomorrow afternoon. Here we go, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. As we heat things up, there could be a couple of stray afternoon storms, but they're going to be isolated in nature. Most of us will stay dry tomorrow. Everybody will get hot and humid again as high temperatures on your Thursday climb back into the upper 80s and low 90s, and that heat index flirting with the century mark once again. Let's check the forecast in detail. For the next few hours, any isolated downpours look to be mainly north or west of Louisville. Otherwise, the 90s will settle back into the 80s. 10 o'clock temperatures right around 82. A few passing clouds. We'll wake up to 78 muggy degrees in the morning. We quickly turn that around. We're up to 87 by lunch hour. Tomorrow afternoon's high, a lot like today, back into the low 90s. Same on Friday, a small rain chance both afternoons, tomorrow and Friday. The weekend, it looks stormy, guys. Starting Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, into Sunday, quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity. That will keep us in the 80s for highs. Possibility that we could be looking at several inches of rain this weekend. So it's all over the place. I get that. And get ready. Get the umbrellas ready to go, especially by the weekend.
You're earning a paycheck today, Jim. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, we want to get back to some breaking news that we've been following. We've got Allison Martin on the phone with us. Allison, of course, from JCPS, dealing with the situation on 71 and the students kind of being stuck there on buses. Allison, I know it's the first day of school. You all planned for a lot of things, but you guys were handed a difficult logistical issue this afternoon. What can you tell us about what you guys are managing to accomplish right now?
Sure. Well, it has been a difficult logistical issue, Eric. We had a great first day of school, everything running smoothly, and our high school and middle school students dismissed at about 2:20 this afternoon. At about 2:40, there was a wreck on I-71 North that affected many of our buses that were carrying about 400 students, and those students have been stuck in traffic since about 2:40 this afternoon as they've been waiting for that wreck to clear. We understand it's a very large dump truck and an RV, and so crews have been having to wait for large wreckers to come in and remove those. So it is a situation that is beyond the control of JCPS. But we have reached out to city officials, and they've been working with us on getting our students out of this traffic because, as you know, being stuck on a school bus for 4 hours is a challenge even after the best day of school. So we appreciate our city partners who've been working with us, and right now our firefighters are going to each bus and helping us transfer those students to other buses. We understand one lane may be open, but what we want all parents to know at this point is if your child is on one of those buses that is affected, he or she is going to Ballard High School's gym. So parents will need to go to Ballard High School's gym to pick up his or her students. And we have a list on our Twitter account of the schools that are affected and the bus numbers. We have buses that are from Atherton, Ballard, Barrett, Central, Eastern, Highland Middle, Liberty, Mail, Manual, Mezquite, No, Shawnee, Western Middle School, and Westport Middle School.
Allison, that spectrum of schools that you just covered they cover a lot of territory in this city. Understandably, it's going to take parents, it could very well take parents a long time to get out to Ballard. Are you guys going to have staffers that are going to stay there for the long haul to ensure that every student is taken care of?
Absolutely. We have area superintendents and principals that are headed to Ballard now. And actually, it shouldn't take too long because most of the students live in that area. That's why they're being transported to that location after dismissal. Many of them attended magnet programs and were from the east part of Louisville and were being transported home from downtown or from another location. And they were magnet school students, and so they are being transported home. So they were in the process of actually probably being very close to home or in the area when the accident happened.
Allison Martin with JCPS, we thank you for updating us on the current situation. Again, if you're just joining us, 400 students, 19 buses stuck on I-71 after an accident did not involve any of the buses. Parents, again, they're being taken, these students, to Ballard High School. You can pick them up there in the gym. Several schools affected here, Eric.
And Allison mentioned, of course, that the city of Louisville, Metro Louisville, is stepping in to help them and get these students to where they need to be. Just another lesson or example of the compassionate city that the mayor often talks about. We'll have more coming up. Stay with us. Hey, let's talk TV tonight on WLKY. You've got Big Brother that's going to air at 8 o'clock, followed by Criminal Minds at 9 and American Gothic at 10. And then we come on at 11 o'clock.
An Indiana man is sentenced to 10 years in prison for killing 2 construction workers. Jordan Stafford was found guilty last month of reckless operation in a highway work zone and failure to obey a traffic control device. He hit and killed the men working along I-69 on the northeast side of Indianapolis in May of 2014. The men were removing cones from the roadway when a pickup truck ran into an aero board that hit him. A jury convicts a man accused of killing an IU student. Daniel Messel was found guilty today of murdering Hannah Wilson. Her beaten body was found in April of 2015 in a vacant lot about 10 miles from the Bloomington campus. Prosecutors told the Brown County jury Wilson's blood was on Messel's car and clothes, and his cell phone was found under her body. The jury still must decide if Messel is guilty of being a habitual criminal. That could add additional time to the sentence of 45 to 65 years he faces for the murder conviction.
Foul play is suspected in the death of a Kentucky pastor and his wife. Family members discovered the bodies of the 71-year-old and his 70-year-old wife inside their home in Morgantown. Investigators believe the suspect involved is injured. It's not clear how long the couple had been dead inside the home. State police have not released a possible motive for the killing. A group dedicated to looking for missing people is now involved in the search for a missing Kentucky woman. Texas EquiSearch has been looking for Bobby Jones and Krista Warner for about 3 weeks. The search has centered on the Winchester area where Jones's body was found Friday. Warner is still missing. They'll be out searching again Saturday. Jones and Warner were last seen on the 3rd of July when they stopped to talk to a tenant about unpaid rent. That tenant, Craig Pennington, is charged with their murders.
A car explosion causes panic in one northern Kentucky neighborhood.
Yeah, there was an explosion here on Timberwick Lane, and I don't know what it was, but it was an explosion.
Dude, that's my dad's car.
Is it smoking?
My dad's car just blew up.
Wow. Well, Boone County deputies say it appears a device attached to the car blew up. They say the owner of the car was not home and no one was hurt, but the case is concerning.
We're used to maybe kids blowing up a mailbox here and there, but to actually set a device on or in a car and blow it up, and they did quite a bit of damage. Yes, very unusual.
Very scary. Investigators say they don't believe the owner of the car was the target.
The sun, the sand, the ocean. This is Copacabana Beach in Rio. I'm Nigel Robertson, and we're going to show you all the flavors of this famous beach coming up.
Let's take a look at the numbers from Wall Street. Everything down today. The Dow closed at 3739, NASDAQ 2090, and the S&P closed at 6.25.
All right, let's get you back out to that late-breaking news coming off of Interstate 71 North. One lane is back open. Traffic is starting to move slowly. We do understand that there were 400 JCPS students that were on 19 different buses heading home for the day after school that were stuck there for a significant amount of time. The district has stepped in to kind of get those buses where they need to be. The city is also helping out. We understand that the students that were on those buses and some that still are going to be taken to Ballard High School at 6000 Brownsboro Road. We understand, parents, that you'll need to pick up your child there. We also understand that some of you might not be able to get there quickly just by nature of where you are in the city and public transportation, and that the district is making an effort to make sure people are there for the long haul to make sure you're able to get to your child.
Let's talk about the Olympics now. It's one of the world's most famous beaches. Copacabana never slows down. And when the Olympics are in town, well, you can count on some international flair. Nigel Robertson takes us to the beach.
With the sun shining and this perfect ocean breeze, it is hard to believe that it is winter. It may be the summer games, but down here in Rio, it is officially winter. Only a few brave surfers were in the ocean, but here on the streets of Copacabana, people were taking in all things Brazil.
We land to Sao Paulo, and after we came right here.
We found the Matabos sisters, Elena and Laura, from Barcelona. These fabrics sold on the street aren't the only things here that caught their eye.
It was just amazing seeing all the landscaping here.
From your eyes to your ears.
Oh, the music makes it such a good vibe, and with the sea and the people, yeah, it's really cool.
And did I mention?
And looking all the people, trying like traditional food. When you travel, it's really nice like to interact with the people, like special to Brazilian people, to know the culture, not to be a tourist, just to be a travel.
From handcrafted whistles to, let's just say, swimwear, fake Brazilian beer toys, and even hand-woven porch chairs.
We come from Africa, so we're used to all sorts of things like that.
People from all over the world are here on this world-famous beach, experiencing it all.
It's a great city, one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
At the Summer Olympic Games on Copacabana Beach in Rio, I'm Nigel Robertson, WLKY News.
It's really nice there right now. The average temperature this time of year on Copacabana Beach, 71 degrees. And here's the latest medal count. The United States in the lead with 27 medals, including 10 golds. China is second with 17 medals. Japan has 14 and Russia has 13.
And the women gymnasts helped out in that effort last night. Congratulations to them. Hey, former U of L football coach John L. Smith is back in the Bluegrass. Now he's hoping to turn around the Kentucky State football team. Natalie Grice is here with more. Hey, Natalie.
Hey, Eric. John L. Smith, of course, has been at Arkansas, Michigan State, and back at Louisville. Now he is back about an hour down the road at Division II Kentucky State. Today was Smith's first media day as head coach of the Thoroughbreds, and WLKY's Dan Koob was there for it.
The analogy is almost too easy. If you were looking to put money down on a program to make any sort of splash, probably not Kentucky State football, just 3-7 1 year ago. But now John L. Smith is trying to turn these guys into Thoroughbreds, but he promises it's not going to happen overnight.
The pool that can play in Division II is a bigger pool than plays in Division I. So if you think you're a player, if you think the D1 guys overlooked you, then why don't you come and show us?
Smith had only 50 players during spring practice, but by the time the team hits fall camp, they'll have about 120.
Pretty epic, you know. I've never seen as many people report to camp.
Probably might have to wear one on the back end and the front because there's a lot of players from what I see. A lot more than last year.
He has an uphill battle ahead of him, but Smith enjoys the difference between high-profile D1 jobs and Division II.
This is more pure. So they're playing the game for the love of the game, not for how quick can you get me to the NFL.
Smith kept a home in Kentucky even as football took him elsewhere and is happy to return to his adopted home state. So how much of it feels like a new beginning?
You want a percentage? 99? No, it's... yeah, it's kind of like starting over.
At age 67, Smith still very much bringing the fire to practice. Asked a bunch of his players what the biggest differences between the Smith regime and the one that preceded it, and they all said the same exact thing. The number one difference is discipline. At Kentucky State, Dan Koob, WLKY Sports.
It'll be interesting to see how that works out. Now, today is game day for Louisville City. We'll have a pre-match preview of tonight's match against Harrisburg. Plus, Bobby Petrino gave an update on U of L's offense. That is coming up at 6. Natalie Grace, WLKY Sports.
All right, weather-wise, we're still tracking a few downpours. Actually, a heavier storm right now immediately north of Salem, drifting off to the north. There's still going to be a chance this evening for a spotty shower or two. It's very muggy, as you know. Look, all the rain across the deep south. That will keep our rain chances around through the weekend. More on the 7-day coming up.
Now, your WLKY weather with Chief Meteorologist Jay Cardosi.
All right, another hot August day across the region. Right now, that live picture from the Bristol restaurant looking back to the southwest over downtown Louisville, the 2nd Street Bridge, and plenty of heat out there right now. We're close to 90. It feels like 96 with that humidity. 54% of southwest breeze, 10 miles per hour. Not much happening around Jefferson County as far as cooling rain chances are concerned. Now, just off to the northeast, a little shower did pop up near Goshen. It's drifting off to the north to near the Ohio River, but this thing is also starting to fall apart. So the bottom line, not much of a chance around Louisville over the next couple of hours, but it's warm, it's muggy, still a slight chance a spotty shower could pop up right through about 9 to 10 o'clock. Boy, some heavier rain right now pushing north of Salem, getting close to Brownstown. A lot of lightning and thunder with this storm. Moving off to the north, we go a little farther south. Again, there's just not a lot happening. Maybe a couple of stray showers in Marion County, closer to Lebanon, but that is just about it. Let's check the forecast now. Over the next few hours, still a chance out there. That's the good news. It's very warm and humid, so a spotty shower storm could still bubble up. 90s will settle back into the 80s. By 10 o'clock, I think much of the rain will be out of the region. Any rain showers that do form will be at 82. We're going to wake up to temps right around 78. Yeah, that's a warm start. We're in the upper 80s by lunch hour tomorrow. Keep in mind, the heat index will again be close to 100 tomorrow afternoon. Slight chance for a stray storm or two tomorrow, Friday, and then the rain chances really elevate for Saturday and Sunday. Could be looking at several inches of rain this weekend, so we'll watch that real close for you.
So I should not plan our canoe trip to the Blue River?
I wouldn't.
Nah.
Get the yard mowed maybe Thursday or Friday. Yeah. Steer clear this weekend.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. All right. Hey, hundreds of JCPS students are going to be getting home late on this first day of school. A crash on 71 North has created all sorts of problems. We're going to update you on that situation.
And a shelter in place just east of downtown Louisville is being reduced. We'll take you there live to the scene next at 6 on WLKY News.
This is WLKY Louisville. Live, local, late breaking. Your complete news coverage for Greater Louisville starts right now.
And first tonight at 6, it's a long ride home on the first day of school for hundreds of Jefferson County Public School students. A crash involving an RV had shut down both northbound lanes of I-71 just before the Gene Snyder, right as the kids were getting out. This is what it looked like earlier from WLKY Chopper HD. At one point, JCPS said there were 19 buses stuck in this backup.
They had about 400 students from 14 high schools and middle schools. Now let's go live with WLKY Chopper HD over Ballard High School. That is where some students, you can see there, are being brought to the gym. Parents can pick them up there. Those buses are 1162, 1238, 333, 776, 486, 488, 609, and 777. Because of this delay, alternate buses were sent to 7 elementary schools to pick up those students. If parents have questions, they can call the transportation hotline at 485-RIDE.
And while we have that picture from the Chopper HD, can we contact Bill DeReamer and get his view on the situation? Because we understand that there were some students that he witnessed getting off of the interstate and getting into their parents' cars crossing the interstate. Is that correct, Bill?
Yeah, Rick, let's clarify that. We understand that Jefferson County Public Schools had sent out a text alert that's saying that they were going to transfer students from the buses that were stuck on northbound 71 onto buses they'd staged on the southbound side of the interstate. And in fact, those buses were staged on the southbound part of the interstate, but no students were ever taken off of any buses and transferred onto those other buses. So the buses that were originally stuck on I-71 North are these buses that are now transporting these students over to the gymnasium at Ballard High School.
Bill, it
So,
had to be a pretty chaotic
right now-
scene. This was just before the Snyder is where this accident happened. If they were going up to Ballard, I don't understand why they didn't take the Watterson.
Well, that's confusing to me also. So it appears now that maybe because of time constraints, maybe these buses were the buses that are originally used for high schoolers, and then they turn them around and use them for middle schoolers. And at that point, I think that we can only assume that things were so out of whack at that point that they said, let's take all these students to one location and reset and figure out how we can get all these students home safe to their parents.
All right, beautiful pictures, Bill. And this kids from Ballard, Atherton, Shawnee, Mazik Middle School, and Westport Middle School. So it runs the gamut. But as you see, buses unloading there at Ballard.
Yeah, and parents, again, that hotline for the transportation, 485-RIDE. If you have questions, give them a call.
First day of school, right?
I know.
Always
What a
something.
mess.
Well, in other news, a shelter-in-place is reduced to a one-block radius just east of Slugger Field. Good evening to you. I'm Rick Van Hoos.
And I'm Jennifer Bayless. Vicki is off today. Firefighters discovered high levels of dangerous chemicals in a vacant building on East Main Street. You can see the areas that were affected highlighted on this map.
WLKY Steve Bergen is live at the scene with an update on this situation. Steve?
Guys, just take a look behind me. East Main is now back open, and all the heavy-duty fire equipment has been removed. Now, Fire Chief Greg Frederick said this afternoon that they are continuing to get high chemical readings from that building. It is a former cold storage facility. Frederick says the building will be sealed. Hazmat crews will remain on the scene monitoring those readings. This building is owned by the state of Kentucky. It was bought by the state as part of the Bridges project. Then the state decided it wasn't needed. The state has been looking for a buyer, but so far, no takers. Now the state will be responsible for hiring and paying for a cleanup crew for that vacant building. Again, the shelter-in-place alert has been lifted, and it comes just in time for tonight's soccer match at Slugger Field. Live along East Main, Steve Bergen, WLKY News.
A Louisville man is in jail, charged in a deadly shooting in the Beachmont neighborhood. Police say Quinnell Young met Zachary Napper and a woman for a drug deal Friday night. According to arrest records, Young drove them to an alley on South 3rd Street where he shot them both. Before running over Napper's body, the woman survived but suffered serious injuries. Young will be arraigned tomorrow for murder and attempted murder.
Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing directly from a man charged with murder. Henry Gleaves took the stand in his own defense.
He is on trial for shooting Sherman Edwards after meeting the 20-year-old for sex at a hotel. WLKY's Gianna Caserta is live outside the courthouse now with what Gleaves had to say. Gianna.
Well, Jennifer, on the stand, Gleaves said he pulled the trigger in self-defense, but the prosecution tried to poke holes in his story, saying that he fired in anger.
Once Henry Gleaves took the stand, his lawyers showed him the surveillance video from the hotel and had him explain what he was doing in each piece of video. Gleaves said he met Sherman Edwards through an online sex site, thinking Edwards was a woman.
It was an ad advertising female encounters, so.
They agreed to meet at the Fern Valley Hotel and Conference Center. Once he realized Edwards was a man, Gleaves says he got up to leave.
I was leaving, and Edwards jumped on my back, and at the same time, Edwards choking me too, and I'm spinning. I spin a couple times, like 2-3 times, like trying to pry his hands off my neck.
Defense attorneys say Gleaves pulled the trigger in self-defense, saying he was scared because he was already attacked and thought Edwards would beat him again with a can of vegetables in a sock.
Bottom line, what happened to you in that 3 minutes when those 4 were in that room?
Robbery, assault.
This is the shirt Gleaves was wearing on the day of the shooting. The defense says the stain on the back of the shirt is blood from the attack.
You're following there, right? And again, these are the people that you're scared of.
Gleaves says he followed them because he was trying to get his money back. He says he took the gun out of his pocket to lead himself out of the door because he couldn't see who was outside.
When you pulled the trigger, were you trying to kill Sherman Edwards?
No, sir, I was not. Just the sudden movement around towards me, I just reacted defending myself.
Before Gleaves took the stand, the Commonwealth brought the lead investigator up to testify. He said there was no evidence of a robbery.
Nobody said anything about a robbery. The first time a robbery was ever mentioned is when we showed up for court.